Hey everyone, we got a lot to unpack here for Palantir stock investors. I'm going to go over how its relationships with businesses are evolving. I'm going to go over a breakdown of where Palantir's business is coming from, especially in the latest quarter and the latest 12-month period, how Palantir is helping enterprises, and how it's resulting in financial improvement for Palantir in terms of revenue, profit, balance sheet, and all of the metrics that are critically important for stock market investors such as yourself. So let's take a look at the details.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so one of the key areas I look for with Palantir and software companies that offer their services business to business is an expanding spending with the existing customer. And Palantir saying they are seeing that. They're seeing expanding customer work with Palantir. The reason I look at this is because it helps me measure the customer value proposition. And this is more important for me when I'm working with and looking at companies that I don't experience in my day-to-day activities, in my businesses, in my investment, because Palantir, it's so expensive. I can't experience it for myself. I can't afford it for my business. I would love to have Palantir's services, but it's out of reach for me. So I look at these data points to tell me what's the customer value proposition. How good of a value is Palantir for business? And if I see businesses increasing their spending with Palantir, that demonstrates to me they're getting good value. Otherwise, why would they increase their spending with Palantir? If you've been with the company for a year and the next year you increase your spending, that demonstrates that you're getting good value, right? Otherwise, why would you spend more? You would, if you feel like you're not getting good value, you would cut back your spending, you would look for alternatives, you would reduce, pause, extend, you would try different strategies. You wouldn't increase, right? So if you're increasing, that demonstrates you're getting a good return on investment, which is great for investors. If investors find a company like Palantir that offers a good return on investment to their customers, it's a good sign of their competitive advantage. It's a good sign of their sustainability longer term. And it's important for me. And I was encouraged to see this from Palantir. And I see this from Palantir in a number of data points, one of which is the retention rate, which I may talk about a little bit later in the video. But this is the data point that management is referring to when they tell you that their customers are expanding their work with them. So Palantir's relationship with governments are a little bit different than its relationship with business. Governments are not so price conscious. They're not worried so much about getting a better deal, comparing this business versus another business, because the people in government that make decisions about the government spending, it's not their money that they're spending. It's a budget that they've been allocated, right? Let's say you're the head of a certain government department. That department gets, let's say, $10 million to spend every year. And so it's your job to allocate that spending, to decide the budget. But it's not your money. It's money that's been awarded you by the government. So whether or not you get an extra million or two off of the price, you're not that concerned about it. Versus if it's your own business, where you're going to suffer the consequence if you pay too much for a product, you're going to be more cost conscious. You're going to be more concerned about getting the best price. So that's a distinction to make here when you're looking at Palantir's commercial business and government business. For the government business, the revenue continued to accelerate last quarter, increasing by 8% quarter over quarter versus 3% growth in the previous quarter. So the revenue growth is accelerating. That's great news for Palantir stock investors as well. So here's what Palantir does, right? They take inherently unstructured inputs that are flying around the enterprise, emails, Slack messages, PDFs, images, comments, audio, and turning them into structured actions and outputs. Every business could use help with this, right? Especially mine. I mean, I've got data coming in all over the place, and they are in silos, right? I have data in this area, and I have data in that area, and data in that area. And it's hard to integrate all of that and make decisions, right? It would help me immensely if I had Palantir consolidate all of that data and have an output, an actionable output that says, look, your viewers are watching this video a lot more often than this other video. Make more videos like this one, right? For me to get that kind of insight, I would need to analyze several different data inputs from different sources, and it takes me much longer to come to that conclusion versus if I had a service like Palantir, just automate that process in the background and give me an output on every morning. These are the type of companies and videos you should be creating. This is the type of financial analysis your viewers and subscribers are looking for. This is what you should create today and this week and this month, right? For me to get that information now takes hours and hours of researching the various data inputs I have to come to a conclusion on which companies I should be following, which companies I should be making videos on, and what types of videos I should be making. So now imagine that for a much larger business, getting that kind of actionable insight is truly valuable. That's why businesses are willing to pay Palantir the big bucks to get them in there and to get their service adapted and incorporated into their operations. And it gives them a competitive advantage, especially against smaller businesses that perhaps cannot afford that, and thereby benefiting from economies in scale. So all of those elements I discussed above are leading to profitability on the bottom line. That's the key. That's the name of the game, right? All of that would have been nonsense if it wasn't leading to cash flow, profitability, revenue, and all of the things that investors look for when they're investing in a business. You've got to be able to do all those good things, but do it in a way that generates profit and cash flow for your investors. Otherwise, you can't continue providing that service for very long. You'll run out of money. Investors will stop giving you money because they see this as a money-losing operation that has no future. But if you can operate that business in a profitable manner, you can sustain yourself longer term and grow your business and become larger and larger and larger. And now this is the 6th consecutive quarter of GAAP profitability. Remember, GAAP stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, generating a record $106 million of net income in the first quarter. So not only 6 consecutive quarters, but that profit is increasing at a healthy clip for Palantir. So really good insights here from Palantir management, giving investors information to make a decision about Palantir stock. Now, if you don't recall, I recently upgraded Palantir stock. I have it on a borderline buy situation. Previously, I had it rated as a hold. So the dip following the earnings results and the progress the company made on profitability had me upgrade Palantir stock to the borderline of a buy and a hold. If you liked the video you just saw and you want to see more just like it, please subscribe to the channel. I can't keep this channel free without the support of viewers like you. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, and I appreciate your support.